So, what makes a good set of tools? What do you think? A few things that contribute to tools being a good set.
They're useful.
That they are useful, yes. What else?
Variety.
There's variety of them, so different tools do different jobs. Yeah.
Used.
That they get used, yeah. That they're pointless if they're just sitting there untouched. So stuff that you can practically put to use. And maybe that there's a range of sizes that they can address in terms of the tasks that they're for, and perhaps some portability to them as well. And solution focus are conversational tools. Which professions are skilled with language? Interpreters. What's their particular skill? They can speak different languages and translate from one to another, still making sense of what's going on, often in real time. Yeah? Therapists, and their particular skill? Listening, and using tools of conversation to encourage people into a healthier space than they started with. Investigative detectives, and what's their particular linguistic skill?
Finding out if you're lying.
Finding out if you're lying, yes. Forensic skills. Barristers. Persuasive skills.
Jury.
Yeah, persuading the jury, the key people to persuade, or the judge. That can work well too.
Teachers.
And teachers, conveying information to people or eliciting information or encouraging learning, facilitating. So can conversations change things? If you're here in the field of studying, in education, working with groups, then I hope you think that the answer to that is yes. And what gives us hope that they might is that we've had some experience or practice of that. I was going to say come in. Janet Bavelas did studies of conversations that she calls micro-analysis. She looks at the detail of how those conversations work. And amongst her studies, she gave some postgraduate students a difficult task, and then she interviewed them after the task about the next time they might do that task. And one group, she asked a set of questions that were positive, future-focused and specific, such as which of your skills will be using to help you do this task well next time that you do it. And another group, she asked past-focused, negative, more global abstract questions, such as what do you think was responsible for you getting a bad score? And then a week went by and they took the task again. What do you think happened?
The positive group behaved differently to the negative group.
So the students who were given the positive interview improved their test results significantly more than those given the negative interview. So the questions they were asked, the topics that they were discussing about their performance made a difference to their performance later on. Even a word can make a difference. This is another experiment and study that showed how words can affect physical performance. So there was a group of elderly people, and they were surrounded by words like old, slow, and feeble. And by surrounded by, that they were on posters in the room, and they were in conversations that were being held by people nearby to them. So these words were in the atmosphere or in the environment. They weren't directly addressed to the elderly people. And they measured the speed with which they moved through the room. And they moved with a certain speed, staggering with some difficulty. And in similar groups with the same characteristics and profile, they surrounded them with different words: wise, knowledgeable, and experienced. And they measured the speed with which these people moved. And lo and behold, they moved significantly faster, just from the words that were surrounding them. It's extraordinary, isn't it? That power of language, even if it's indirect power. Who likes eating cereal bars? Anyone? Yes. So you think you know what you like, and you think you know how something tastes if you've tasted it before. If you give people cereal bars, they'll like them to a certain level and tell you that level. If you tell them that the cereal bar contains soy, they won't like them so much. That's the negative. The same is true of the positive. This is chocolate cake. If it's double Belgian chocolate cake, it tastes better than chocolate cake, even though it's the same cake. Even though it's the same cake. That's extraordinary. So there's interactions between us, our taste, the object, and the language. It's an interactional field where difference in language makes difference to how we experience things, even if it's something you think would be pretty well fixed, like how good something tastes. Of course, advertisers know about all this, and restaurants, and they create the conditions in which you will have a different experience than if they created different conditions with the same stuff. So conversation is the fundamental unit of change. And if you change the conversation, then there's every chance you'll change everything that surrounds it. And conversation is a very easy, inexpensive, and effective place to start. Big change projects are often difficult, awkward, thoroughly resisted for very good reason. Change projects based on changing conversations can be